Hello, this is Race and Ethnicity course. In this segment I want to talk about the first thesis from Takaki's Iron Cages. It comes off page 9, at least in my edition. Thesis number 1. The combination of asceticism and republicanism provides the ideology for bourgeois acquisitiveness and modern capitalism. Again, that's page 9 in Takaki. We'll see how far I can get with it. By asceticism means doing without luxury. That you don't try and gather material things to make your life any better. You don't engage in any luxuries, drinking, smoking, laziness, anything like that. Republicanism is this idea connected to utilitarian theory, to rational choice theory, that the mind must control the body. Bourgeois acquisitiveness is in a sense that materialism, but in part it means getting capital, getting stuff. And modern capitalism, by which is meant this: the people we're talking about did not start off with a lot, but they amassed a great fortune. They, in effect, drained Europe. So the whole thing again now. The combination of asceticism and republicanism provides the ideology for bourgeois acquisitiveness and modern capitalism. They are going to get a lot of money. They're not going to get a lot of money because they love money. They're going to get a lot of money because of their ideology, their way of believing. Takaki argues, and I would follow him, that what they really wanted was heaven and some assurance that they would go to heaven. That's how they made money. They didn't make it for money's sake. They made it for heaven's sake, to be closer to God. Okay. How this works is this. I think we've probably talked about the covenant of grace and works. But you need a sign that you're going to heaven. And the sign for them was that they were productive, that their efforts produced great fruit. But if they indulge in those fruits, if they indulge in luxuries and giving themselves things, if they engage in vice, then they're showing that they're not worthy of the great reward after. So they both make money and don't spend money. They work as hard as they possibly can, but they are at pains not to enjoy the fruit of their labors. They are insecure. They don't know if they're going. They fear that they won't go. They need everything around them to convince them that they are going. So they don't just need to in themselves produce and be without sin. They need those around them to be without sin. They need to live in that new Israel, a place without sin. For them, heaven is where the rational mind controls the irrational body, where you don't eat too much, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you do not live in luxury. If you go back in your own life and think about the money you spent on fun, on entertainment, what has it gotten you? Besides those momentary fleeting pleasures, they're saying no. We want the great reward at the end, not right now. The foundation of modern capitalism, in Takaki's view, and by the way, this is a sort of a Weberian line, to go back to the general social theory, is that this sort of Protestant work ethic and the spirit of capitalism work together. They mutually reinforce each other. That's Takaki's first thesis. And again, what they're going to say is that to be a citizen of this country, to be a part of the great group, is to be without sin and vice, to show that you're productive, and thereby show that your mind is in control of your body, not that your body is in control of your mind. That's the first thesis of Takaki. Whoops, I almost forgot a part. And it's only the title of the book that I forgot. So, how did they propose that you do this? That you live with this luxury? That you live without luxury? That you just worked? What they felt was needed, and by this I mean sort of the revolutionary figures that you've read about in your history books, assuming you've had some history courses, is through what I think Weber first called, I think it's Weber, an iron cage. The mind had to act as an iron cage over the body. If you happen to pick up the Takaki book, or if this quarter I'm requiring the Takaki book, you'll see a quote from Marx talking about this as cutting off a part of yourselves, disengaging heart from mind. Lang argues that the genitals are disassociated from the heart and all of this. Fragmentation of the self is what we're talking about, where you need to have control over the body, because the body is an extremely dangerous sort of thing. I myself am having a little problem right now wanting to eat way too much food. Way. I've got to cut back. There's no doubt about it. But I love food. I can't let my body eat until it is satisfied, because it turns out I can always have a little bit more. I order Thai food, I get 6 different dishes just to get a little taste of everything, but then I find myself going to the bottom of the box. You've got to control the body in order to be happy. For them, you have to control the body in order to get to God. That's how the world has to work. And so where you see them later on imposing control on something, on people, you're going to find that those people are people of vice, people of luxury, people of sin. That you have to control those who cannot control themselves. This was to be a country of masters, or to put it another way, a country without masters, where every person controlled themselves. Every person. When you have somebody who cannot control themselves, that's when you have to impose your will, not because you want to, but because this is the only way to do God's work. Okay, that's the end of the first thesis.